Okay. Hello, guys. Okay, so I know that I sent go for a no to pretty much everyone that I felt like was serious about the business. So if you didn't get it, I apologize. Just send me a message and I will get it for you because it's a really awesome book. And I'm going to just talk a little bit about the book tonight because I think that it's just good to kind of have if you haven't started or even if you have started, it's good to kind of have a prelude to it. So these are the notes that I took down, and I apologize, I didn't have time to make a slideshow today, but these are the notes I got from it. You're two letters away from greatness. So the two letters obviously are N and no. And we have to move through failure to get to success. And you guys, I get told no a lot too, and it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. But it does suck. It does kind of suck. But at the same time, you have to look back to where you were at one point, and maybe you said no to me, or maybe you said no to something else. Like I said no to my husband. He didn't ask me to marry him, but we started dating. I was like, no, even though that was good for me. Like he was the person I was supposed to be with. I did say no to him, and he asked me out again. And I was like, no. And then he asked me out again. Then I said yes. And now he's my husband and everything's great. But I mean, the kind of all joking aside, sometimes people say no and we just can't take offense to it. So you kind of have to like desensitize yourself to it. And in the book, he talks about something that really stood out to me. He talks about a kid, and then I don't know, I maybe or maybe I'm not getting this right, but the kid's like at the grocery store with his mom. He's like, Mom, can I have a cookie? And I know a lot of you are moms and you're like, you know how this goes. And you're like, no, you can't have a cookie. But Mom, really, I want a cookie. No, you can't have the cookie. But Mommy, it looks so yummy and I just am really hungry and I didn't have snack. And they're like trying to say all these things. And then finally you're like, here's a cookie, just have a cookie. And so it's like we need to kind of, not saying we should bug people and be like, please buy a challenge pack, please, please. Like you don't want to be like that. But the point is that like there's somewhere along in our life where we get to the point where we're like, when somebody says no, like when as kids when somebody says no like to us, we don't really care, we still ask. Like I used to be obsessed with Barbie dolls. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but I was obsessed with Barbie. And every time we would go to Toys R Us or like there was all these other there was a bunch of toy stores when I was a kid, and I would be like KB toy stores or like I have a Barbie, can I have a Barbie? And my mom and dad would say no, but I still wanted the Barbie, and I never gave up on Barbie. I never gave up on wanting that because like whatever I wanted it, and like I eventually got it. Maybe I got it like on my birthday, or maybe I got it at Christmas, or maybe I got it another time, but eventually if I really wanted it, I got it. So ask yourself why you don't like hearing the word no, and kind of like think back to like when you were a kid and just think back to being okay with hearing the word no and not being offended by it. So there's 5 levels of failure if you're taking notes, and no is not failing. And we think of no as like a bad feeling, but don't try to think of it that way. And here's the 5 levels. Number 1 is the ability to fail. Number 2 is the willingness to fail. Number 3 is the wantingness to fail. Number 4 is failing bigger and faster. And number 5 is failing exponential. So here's an example. Like there was a time I really wanted to be a diamond. And I remember Rhonda kept asking me my date. And I kept just throwing out a date out there. I just was like, this date or whatever. I'd be like, oh, before I go here, before I go there, or my birthday or whatever. And I still sometimes do those things. I'll like say a date. And then it kept getting pushed back and it kept getting pushed back. But I still didn't give up on what I wanted. And maybe it didn't happen when I wanted it to happen. But I'm going to be really honest. I wasn't really trying to make it happen. Like I wasn't really going for it. I just was like throwing it out there. And that's kind of like, I was talking to one of you guys earlier. I think it was Audrey. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and we're talking about like the 6-pack, and it's like you want to have this like 6-pack. You're not just going to say, I want a 6-pack. And you're not going to wake up the next day and like have a 6-pack. Like that's just not going to happen. Like if that did happen, that'd be really cool, but it's just not going to happen. Like you have to show up every day. You have to do your workout every day. You have to eat 80% clean every day. And eventually you will wake up with that 6-pack. But if you want to keep it, you have to keep up with it and keep doing what you're doing. So that's kind of the same way, like with our fitness as it is with our business or even with our relationships with people. Like you have to continue to keep working on it and showing up every day. Like if you're, in a marriage or in a committed relationship, you show up every day and you're not like, I just don't feel like it today. I mean, maybe you do, I don't know, but you're like, I just don't feel like it today. Don't kiss me today. I don't want to today, So it's like, even if your spouse is bugging you or your significant other's bugging you, you still show up and you're like, okay, hey, even if you don't feel like it. So kind of like with inviting people, even if you don't feel like it, you just show up anyway. You just do it anyway. Like just because you do. And, a lot of you've talked about like having challenge groups that like aren't going that well sometimes. And that's happened to me too. I've had ones that are like, weren't. And I've had ones that are like, yeah, awesome. Yeah, everyone's doing great, And so it's like, just because even at the beginning I had some that maybe weren't as good, I just kept doing it and I just did it every month and I just did it every month. And don't look at it ever as a failure, because it's not a failure. Like it's not, like you are not failing. So a lot of that is fear, and you have to stop focusing on fear and focus on facing fear, like facing fear in the face, I guess, and just letting like go of what you think other people are thinking about you, because honestly, they're not thinking anything about you. They really aren't. And we make up these stories in our heads, and you just can't think of that. And that's all just like rejection. And trust me, I get it, but you have to just let go of that and know that it's okay if you're sending friend requests to people and they don't say yes to it. I used to be like, are they going to say yes? Are they going to say yes? Now I don't know. And I don't care, because I have to just let it go, because that's not worth your time. If you send a message to somebody and they don't write back, and they read it and they didn't respond, that's okay. It's not, that doesn't define you as a person. If somebody responds or doesn't respond to you, it just doesn't. And you just have to like let go of it, because a lot of times I used to focus on those things. So I understand like focusing on like, oh my gosh, like this person read my message and they didn't respond back to me, but we don't know what's going on in their life. They're maybe cooking dinner. They maybe have a child that like had a temper tantrum and they looked at your message and then they just like put the phone down because they had to deal with something. And it maybe has nothing to do with you. So don't ever take it personal or feel rejected if you do message somebody and they don't respond to you or they say no to you, because it's okay. So like I said earlier, you're 2 letters away from greatness, and those 2 letters are N and no. And so if one person said yes to you out of 20, like let's say your goal was, I'm going to try to get 20 no's today. Hypothetically, I'm just making this up. I'm not saying you guys should do this, but hypothetically, let's say you're like, I'm going to ask 20 people today if they want to be in a challenge group, and only 1 out of those 20 people said yes to you. That's pretty good. If you think about it. And then if you showed up the next day and you asked 20 people and only 1 person said yes to you, that's pretty good. So, in the book, and obviously I'm hoping you guys are going to read it, but it talks about setting those no goals instead of the yes goals. Because when people say yes to us, that doesn't, we don't learn from that. It's when we get rejected that we learn from things. So the higher the failure, the bigger the success. So you almost have to like numb yourself to hearing the words no. So ask yourself, am I willing to hear those words no? And like, what is it worth to me? So like, I have a goal that I'm like, I want to make a 6-figure income, and I know I could do it, but I have to not care if I message someone and they don't message me back, or if I reach out to someone and ask them if they want to be in a challenge group and they say no to me. I can't care, because I want to have that freedom. And if I care, then if I'm caring too much what other people are thinking of me, I'm never going to get to my goal. I'm never going to be able to help the number of people that I do want to help. And the people that are supposed to be in your life and the people that you're supposed to help will come to you. And the people that say no, that isn't a no. That's just, I see that as just, they're not ready yet. And that's okay. Just like my Barbie doll or whatever the thing was when you were a kid that you wanted. It just wasn't it's just not the right time for you to have that right now. And I don't know if and it doesn't really matter, but I don't know if any of you guys are religious or not, but there's a picture that really stands out in my mind, and it's a picture of God, and he and a little girl, and the little girl has her cute little teddy bear that she's holding, and it's this cute little teddy bear, and God and God's, he has one hand behind his back and one hand in front, and he's asking her to give him the bear, and she's like, but I love it, but behind there is like this big huge bear. So I guess the point is that don't hang on to something so tight. Like, don't hang on to your fear so tight. Like, when you hang on to sand really, really tight, it's going to slip through your fingers. But when you just hold it like this, it's going to stay there. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. I hope it does. But the point is like, just be okay with it. Like, you don't have to be scared, and you don't have to be fearful. In the book, they talked about the pike syndrome, and there was a piranha that was wanting the minnows, and they put this like glass thing in front of the piranha, and the piranha kept banging the head against the glass to try to get the minnows, and it kept doing it over and over and over again. And then they took the glass out. And guess what? The piranha never even tried, because it was like, well, it knew after amount of time, no, you can't have it. And then the piranha would be able to have whatever the piranha wanted, but it was rejected so many times that it said no. It was told no. So the point of that is you don't want to be that person that keeps being told no, and then you just give up, when you could have everything. You could have everything you want if you just get over that fear. So I hope that makes sense. And I know once you guys read the book and we get more into it, then it will make more sense. But I kind of just wanted to do an overview of it. So like, it's almost like we're miners, and we're just like mining for like that gold, So one example that was in the book that also really, really stood out to me, that there was this insurance company, and they weren't doing so well, and they had a professional come in, and they asked the professional, they said, hey, you got to help us. Like, we don't know what's going on with our people. They're just not doing so well. What's going on here? And kid you not, the professional said, listen, we're not going to give you any more leads. We just want your people to go door to door and just say to the person, you don't want life insurance, do you? Because it was like an insurance company. And they said, you don't want life insurance, do you? And most of the people said, no, I don't. And they closed the door on them. And basically, they would talk to 60 people a day, and one person a day said yes. Well, at the end of the month, most people had 4 people say yes total. But these people are getting one person a day. So kind of like the example I said earlier, like, I guess there's that kind of like that ratio there, if that makes sense. So basically, for salespeople in general, and I don't like us being called salespeople, but this is obviously in the book, more I like to think of us as people that share and help others more than sales. But here's the thing, you do have to ask people, because if you don't ask, then you will never know the answer. So 92% of all sales people give up after four times of somebody saying no. But 60% of customers will say yes the 5th time you ask them. And only 8% of people will ask the 5th time. That's like, I don't know about you guys, but that like hit me hard, because I'm going to be honest, a lot of times I have these things in my head too. I don't want to bug people. I don't want to be that person. And I think when you come off with good intentions that you won't come off like that person, but that really hit me. It's like, wow, and not saying that you should be the kid, the nagging kid, have a cookie, 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 and ask them all in the same day. It's a process that you would ask maybe once a month. Hey, I'm starting my new challenge group this month. I'm starting my new fitness 21-day challenge group this month. I would love for you to be a part of it. Is that something I could share details with you about? And if they say yes, then you follow the process. And if you need the process that I follow, I will text it to you and save it in your notes, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Make it easy on yourself. And I'm more than happy to send that or email it to you guys if you don't already have it. But the point is that, that person might say no, and then say, no problem, girl. I will send you a 7-day meal plan. All I need you to do is sign up for this free membership. Then make sure next month, say, hey girl, how's it going? Wanted to check up with you. Did you want to be in this month's challenge group? Maybe they say no. So think of it this way. Let's say this girl says yes the 5th time, but you gave up after the 4th time, and then she didn't, and then like, who even knows what happened. But she could have said yes the 5th time, and she could have lost 10 pounds on that 5th month and felt really confident about herself and was happier. And it was all because of you asking. And does that make sense? Like, just that small little like question, and like thinking about that 5th time. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. But that really hit me really, really hard. So, try the point of the book, and I think you guys will understand more once you read it, but the point of the book is the reason why it says go for no, and it's a great story, but the guy sees himself, he is who he is, and he sees himself in the future and what his life could look like. And it's amazing for him to learn from himself what the future him could be like if he followed the process of going for no. And it's a super quick, easy read. And I read it and I actually just read it again today, and I hadn't read it in a while, but I read it when I first started coaching. And when I first started coaching, I really wasn't coaching. I just was really like interested in learning stuff, and I wasn't trying to go all in. And there are times when I look back and I think to myself, gosh, I wish I just would have went all in and went balls to the wall and went crazy. And what can my life look like? And, and then I get mad at myself, but you shouldn't do that, because your story is your story, and whatever you're going through and whatever your pace is okay. And Leanne said this, and I don't know if any of you were on this call or not, but it was somewhat recently, but she was talking about how, so Leanne, who's on our team, if you don't know her, she runs a 100-mile ultra marathons, and she'll run in the same mile 100 times, basically. Essentially, she's running that same mile again and again and again 100 times. And then when she's done, she gets her buckle. Well, her friends are running it. She sees them. She doesn't know where they're at. She doesn't know what mile they're on. They don't know what mile she's on. But at the end of the day, they're all doing the same thing, just like we are. We're all doing the same thing. We're trying to help busy people get fit. We're trying to help, moms feel good about themselves. We're trying to help spouses get fit together. Whatever you feel, and it might be all those things, but whatever you feel your calling is, like, that's what you're doing. But we're all trying to help people, and it doesn't matter what lap you're on, and it doesn't matter how fast you're running, and it doesn't matter if you need to take a little bit of a break because you're getting tired. Like, it's okay. And I want you guys to know that you don't have to be anything, but you have to go at the pace you want to go at. So if you're a person that is saying, I really want to be at this income, or I really want to have this amount of freedom, and I really want that, then yeah, you're going to have to talk to more people, than somebody that's just trying to, be easy breezy about it. So, and no way is a wrong or right way. They're all the right way, but I don't want you guys to be hard on yourselves. But I think the really great part about this book is, even for myself too, is just to realize, like, wow, like, sometimes when somebody tells me no, I give up on them too soon. And, maybe this could be something that could change their life. And I almost am going to feel bad for not even thinking about asking that person that fifth time or that second time, because I know that if I keep asking them each month, eventually they're probably going to say yes. And, and if somebody does say no to you, if you're comfortable, I would just say, if they don't tell you why, then say, well, why do you feel like you're not ready now? And, see if there's a way that you could, like, overcome that or help them overcome that. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. And I don't know if anyone has started reading the book or not. But if you have, that's awesome. If you haven't, that's awesome too. I'm just looking at the screen now. I love that Mandy and Sarah are in their kitchen, and it's making me laugh because last week we had Julie Fasano was on the call, and she was talking about how she does a selfie in front of her microwave every morning. And then she said that she was joking with Sarah that she saw Sarah by her microwave and she didn't want her to do selfies by the microwave. So I thought it was kind of cute. But I just appreciate you guys, and I want everyone to welcome Alex. She is a new coach. She's awesome. She has already been on, like, every call, which is really good. And she put out her transformation on her page the other day, and that's really awesome. It takes a lot of bravery to do that, and I applaud you. And it looks like a lot of people were inspired too. So that's great. Alex, you want to introduce yourself and say hi real quick?
Sure. Sorry, I've got a I've got a pretty rambunctious 3-year-old right next to me right now. Yep. My name's Alex. I just launched it Sunday. I figured Sunday was a good day to post for everybody. Lots of people just sitting at home and checking Facebook. And before I actually did put the post on, I showed it to my husband. And he's like, "You're really going to do that?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" And he goes, "You're going to show people those pictures?" Didn't bother me one bit. I was confident in what I was doing, so it was a no-brainer for me. But he's like, "I could never do it." And he's not overweight by any means. But it was funny to see that he was like, "No, I'd be too insecure to do that sort of thing." I just think this process has really helped me become more confident with myself, that it was definitely exciting to launch the business on Sunday.
I heard nothing that you said, Alex. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did anyone hear
it? Something, no, you're fine. Something's wrong with my computer, so there's two of me now. But thank you for sharing. I wish I heard it, but I recorded
I'll text it to you.
Okay, cool. But did everyone else hear her? Okay, awesome.
Okay,
good. Okay, guys. So, Tessa, how was your week?
Interest and then don't follow through with getting started. So it's been hard, but getting through, and I think the Go for No is probably going to be a good book to start next.
Yes, that's awesome. I think it will be good for you. Jessica, how was your week?
There we go. You can hear it. It was a good week. It's been busy, and I know, like, everybody else doesn't know this, but after MaryAnn's and my conversation, I'm going to actually post a little bit about a few of the things I've learned this week. That they're like things that aren't even related to Beachbody, but are going to end up translating really well into how you can succeed. And I wanted to say one thing real quick, MaryAnn, about Go for No, because that is a really great book. Everybody here should think about how many times MaryAnn or whoever your coach is asked you to do a program or become a Beachbody coach. Because I know, MaryAnn, like you asked me probably 4 or 5 times before I did finally say yes to doing a program. And then after that, you asked me several times before I decided to become a coach. So, I mean, that in itself, when we look at ourselves, can be a good lesson to what we're doing with other people too.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know if Sarah, I don't know if she could talk. She's cooking. If not, it's okay. She's so cute. And Mandy and her husband went to San Diego. I love them. I don't know if you could talk, Mandy. If not, it's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, honey.
Hi. Sorry, our computer, you guys, I'm sure saw us coming in and out of contact, but our computer wouldn't connect, so we're on the phone. We did go to San Diego. We took a little time off. We had some personal things, but we did have a friend text us last night that says, we've been sharing our story personally a lot because social media isn't really how our friends do things so much, so we've been sharing it a lot personally, and the lady that watches our house has Shakeology the whole time we were in San Diego. So she wants to do Shakeology, and she actually wants to meet and talk about the 21-day fix more. So I for sure have one for Shakeology, just trying to sell this challenge pack with it. But it was pretty cool. She texted us and was like, this stuff is delicious, and I want more.
Oh, you are so cute. So, okay, one thing that Mandy said that I love that she said was the fact that her and her husband were the type of people that like doing it personally. And I love that because she's doing her, like she knows what works for her. And I think that's amazing because she's owning it. She's not trying to be like anybody else. She's just trying to be like Mandy. And like they're doing Mandy and Kevin and they're doing their thing. And I think that is so, so, so cool. Like that just like made my night because you're owning who you guys are. And I just love that. And I love that you're the person that watched your house. You were like, I'm doing some Shakeology. So I think that's really cool. Okay. I don't know if Sarah, okay. Audrey, how are you?
Hi, sorry, I have a cranky baby. We had internet issues, so we had to find a parking lot where we could park and get Wi-Fi. My week was good. Last week I was feeling really discouraged. Like I just felt like I just spread myself way too thin, and I was just like, my expectations for inviting and just everything were just too high for myself. And I told MaryAnn that I was discouraged, and she was like, well, what are you reading for personal development? and she totally busted me. I wasn't reading anything for personal development. And so the past week I've just been trying to like work on myself and like make my exercise and nutrition fun again instead of feeling like a chore, and try and figure out how to make this work for me. So this week I'm going to try some new things, and I bought my ticket for Summit, so I'm excited about that. And yeah.
That's awesome. And I love that, like how Audrey was saying, like she was trying to like post a bunch, and she was trying to like do everything and be everything and like go balls to the wall, which is awesome. But then she like almost was burning herself out because she was trying to do so much, and then it was like she wasn't even taking care of herself. And I think that's really awesome, like for all of us, just to recognize, like be honest with ourselves and recognize what we're going through. Just, you know, if you need to, just, you know, work on yourself. And yeah, if you're always reading something, that's what's going to keep you going. And trust me, you guys, every day, and I say this because I trust you guys, but every day when I wake up, I don't want to wake up. I feel like crawling in a ball. I don't feel like doing anything sometimes. And it sucks. It's hard. It's really hard. But I listen to something or do something that's going to inspire me, and then everything shifts. So it's everything mentally, physically, like if you're continually working on yourself, it's going to happen. And like, I'm not trying to get a six pack right now, but I'm just kind of like the six pack analogy. It's just going to happen. Like it will happen, but you have to continue to keep making it. You have to continue to show up every day, and the personal development is the most important thing. So Sarah, do you have anything?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My week was good. I don't know. Hold on, Scott's watching me. I'm moving. He's intimidating me. It was good. We had kind of a hard week. You know, Mother's Day is always kind of hard, and so I read like a lot of personal development, and that just really, I don't know, I guess started my week off so much better than the weekend was. And so, I mean, my regular job has been really, really crazy, but I've been trying to post more on the like page that I created. So I just really need to, I don't know, focus on that a little more. Posted again last night, and I just need to be way more consistent about it.
Will all you guys post what your like page is on like Team Major Fitness, so then we can all make sure we like your like page? Okay, that's awesome, Sarah. And you're just awesome. So what have you been reading, just as out of curiosity?
I've been reading a couple different things. I started reading Compound Effect again, and then I started reading Lean In, which it's written by Sheryl Sandberg. It's a little more like corporate related, I guess, but it's still really good, and it's specifically like for women kind of personal development. So it's been kind of cool to read.
Yeah, if you could take a picture of it, I mean, that sounds awesome. Take a picture of it. We could all see what it is. So, well, thank you guys for being on tonight. I love you all, and I love hearing all your voices. And pray for Jen. She is in Guam. There have been some weather issues down there. So she's kind of dealing with that. So we just want to hope and pray that she's okay. And I know it's been kind of stressful for her and her family. So love you guys, and you're all doing awesome. And I'll see you on Facebook. Bye.